I heard something.
Hello dear viewers and welcome back to Oblivion Class Restoration Project, where I milk my friend's idea for views and subs. This time we have the Scout. The Scout, possibly my favorite playstyle, top 3 for sure. Particularly when I get to perk both smithing and alchemy, I'm all for it. It means we get to be super fast, but also reach the armor rating cap and also use poisons and potions. I went very high on the alchemy tree with this one. The entire build is basically alchemy, speed and surprising tankiness of a full-blown blacksmith. I can't say I really thought deep about the roleplay, but the choice of race and gear kinda seems to be telling a story. A Khajiit may be used to serve the Dominion, of course he was forced to do it, and maybe then joined the Legion and then deserted. And now in Skyrim he has to choose which side of the civil war he should support. And for the mods, we have Vokrii, Evenstar, Morningstar, Summermyst and the Heavy Armory. Heavy Armory can be skipped quite easily. The way I did it, I was trying to get maximum tankiness with maximum agility, so I perked both daggers and swords in one-handed, switching between them depending on what was needed. Sword perks weaken the enemy attacks, and short swords in Heavy Armory are faster than normal swords, so it plays into both defense and speed of the build. But daggers deal more damage to poisoned enemies in Vokrii, and most of our enemies will be poisoned. If you want to go with daggers only, Heavy Armory will be a little bit redundant, I would say. For the race we have a Khajiit. They have a little movement speed bonus in Morningstar, so that's a great start for our combat style. For the stone we have Morningstar Steed, which gives us yet another speed bonus. Things are really piling up. And attributes, well, a horrible amount of stamina and stamina regeneration are required for this one to really shine, mainly due to shield charge. But on the other hand, we also want to be able to stand and fight, so simply 50-50 health to stamina ratio will be good enough. As soon as you can, get the shield charge perk in block. We use it all the time. We put everyone on their asses, we apply ongoing damage via poison and enchantments before they can back on their feet. And from there we can just run around waiting for the inevitable demise of our enemies. Shield bashes will also be frequently used, especially with a buckler from Heavy Armory. Bucklers are light and fast, they cost less stamina to bash. Because of all that, a Redguard is also a strong scout candidate. They spend less stamina on sprinting in Morningstar. We will sprint a lot, so yeah, something to consider. The armor is a Nord light mail from Immersive Armors with padded fur hood. It's not just a fashion choice, the armor is very lightweight when compared to other sets of the same armor rating, hence it will let us reach the armor cap easier while still allowing us to use some unperked sneak skill effectively. The main skills are one-handed light armor, block, smithing and alchemy. Normally I would also go for the silent roll and dodge roll perks in sneak as a proxy for the acrobatics skill, but in this case I simply couldn't fit it in 50 levels or less. Alchemy turned out to be so much more important, and our insane movement speed and the evasive sprint perk in the light armor seem acrobatic enough. With some fortified sneak potions we can also use sneak attacks and move around undetected if we are careful about light sources and such. In one-handed take all the power attack perks on the right. I said it before and I will say it again, these perks are perfect for lightweight, fast weapons, especially here with our block perks and a buckler. It seems like this cat always has some trick up his sleeve, sending people flying away, disarming them, staggering with the fast bashes, and simply amazing. Then all the dagger perks and both ranks of overpowering assault for our short sword. If you insist on sticking to just one weapon type to save some perk points, I would go swords actually. Yes, you will lose a neat synergy with poisons, and a bit of attack speed, but with the movement speed of the finished build, it's sometimes difficult to actually control where your attacks land, and a little bit more range can help with that. In light armor, every single perk on the rightmost side will be very useful, especially as always the evasive sprint, allowing us to evade all damage as long as we sprint. It combines fabulously with the Valorous Charge and Crater Maker perks in one-handed. You know how it works: you sprint forward, start ignoring damage, then power attack forward, critical damage and a chance to knock a target prone happen. Yeah, also go for the light armor training in the middle. It would be silly to be slowed down by armor with this build. In block, I think it goes without saying, we want quick reflexes and block runner ASAP, but also shield charge and elemental protection in the middle. Shield charge is a perfect combat opener, making all enemies just wait to receive your poisons. With the evasive sprint, it also means you won't take any magical damage when charging. In theory, it means we could skip elemental protection, especially that in the end we can also produce elemental resistance potions that will get close to the resistance cap by themselves. In practice, sometimes you may be out of stamina, sometimes you might be out of ingredients, and the game sometimes derps out taking a second to register the evasive sprint effect, so elemental protection will help fulfill the goal of combining agility with durability. On the right, go up to Dragon Tail, but it is marked as optional as it is a little bit redundant with shield charge unlocked. Both perks let you put the enemies on the ground, and with quick reflexes you can simply time your shield charge perfectly to use it instead of a shield bash. Still, it is satisfying as hell and has a chance to also disarm the target, so late game with the build nearly complete, I would say go for it. Mocking Blow combines nicely with the sword perks. Both your weapon attacks and shield bashes will reduce incoming damage. In smithing, go to the right up to advanced armors. The armor cap could be reached with some low tier armor, a homebrewed fortified smithing potion and some peerless smithing items, maybe armor padding too, but the quality of the weapons was quite important to me because I could only use one item slot for fortify one-handed enchantment. Well, I could use two, but I didn't want to, so these perks are bare minimum. And finally, alchemy, the absolute OP paradise of a skill of which the scout will become an absolute master. Take everything except gourmet, purity and physician. Adrenaline and stimulants combine well with light armor perks, giving you more speed and stamina regeneration when under the influence of a potion, while slow metabolism make those potions last much longer, meaning in the late game you can remain under the influence for as long as you need. Especially that you will also harvest more ingredients and produce more potions. I would also go for the Cinderion's Serene Stupidity ability. Yes, that could top your potion production even more. With the Poison Branch perks, you will ignore 50% of armor when hitting a poisoned target, so now when fighting with a sword and a shield you can reduce their attack damage by up to 30% and their armor by 50%. With all this, you are unlikely to run out of useful concoctions, and therefore you should try to keep yourself stimulated and your weapons poisoned at all times. Alcahest makes it worth it even if you are left just with some mostly useless poisons, and Adrenaline makes it worth it even if you are left with just some vegetable soup. Actually, come to think of it, cooking can be quite useful for this one in the early game, keeping your stamina regions slightly higher for the sake of all that bashing and power attacking. Go for some cooking. For our main weapon we have a Nordic dagger with some disease damage enchantment. It is a long-lasting damage over time, it supports our main tactics, stacks nicely with poisons, but unfortunately affects only the living enemies, so we need something else for the undead and Dwemer automatons. I opted for an elven short sword enchanted with fire damage lingering. It is a little bit broken, as it lasts until the combat ends. If you have a fortified destruction potion and a weakness to fire, poison, you can build up its damage quite substantially. With your movement speed you can simply run around and wait until your enemies burn down. I also added a short sword of absorb stamina as a backup. For the armor and jewelry we want fortify speed on the boots, fortify one-handed on the gauntlets, fortify stamina regeneration on the armor, imminent victory on the hood, link health and stamina on the ring, and fortify health on necklace and shield. Before you unlock evasive sprint and elemental protection perks, you should probably devote the necklace and shield to magic resistance or some elemental resistances. I also used a backpack from the campfire mod, but that's mainly for immersion. You should have enough inventory space. These items can be obtained via honed metal or perkless enchanting. Given your insane alchemy skill, with your Fortify Alchemy set, you should be able to make them viable even on Legendary. And if you are not that strict about emulating the Oblivion class, one perk in enchanting could really make your life very, very easy. Just saying, I'm not breaking any rules here. Speaking of alchemy, there's many alchemy recipes that can be useful to this build. Even fortified destruction potions can be used to more than double your fire damage and absorb stamina weapon enchantment value. For poisons, slow, paralyze and lingering health damage were all used frequently. Among many useful recipes is the poison of slow, damage health and weakness to poison. It can be made out of death bell, river betty and small antlers. The weakness will not increase the damage of the first application of this poison, but will for any of the consecutive applications. Another one paralyzes the target and deals damage over time. It's crafted with canis root, mora tapinella and some imp stool. Awfully effective, and the ingredients are very easy to obtain. I also tried to have one wonderful beneficial potion always at hand, a potion increasing your one-handed, light armor and sneak skills. You can craft it using hanging, moss, beehive, husk and hawk feathers. If you don't have hawk feathers, you can still have Fortify one-handed and light armor in one potion. So yeah, this guy is OP. Speed, durability, high damage output, crowd control of power attack perks and shield charge, and nobody can really catch up with him. It may seem horribly OP. But remember that I am presenting the finished build here. The scout relies heavily on late game perks. Your beginnings may require of you to be very careful and well prepared with potions and poisons. With that said, I think I am done here. Do me a favor and leave a like and or a comment and or subscribe so my dad can be proud of me. Have a lot of fun with this one and we will see each other again. Bye bye. Also, I'm a little bit sick, so if the voice was weird, then I'm sorry, but what can you do? What can you do? The builds won't make themselves.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?